So thank you very much, everyone, for being here to consider the motion 501, which I am moving on to the floor for debate. And the motion reads that be it resolved that the Legislative Assembly urge the government to distribute revenue from combined low expenditure assessments on a province-wide, per capita basis to municipalities, towns, districts, and counties. And I can add Métis settlements in there, but what I mean is that the what we know is the linear property tax or the industrial property tax, as collected currently, be redistributed on a per capita basis throughout the province. Yes, we have a problem. Municipalities are underfunded. What's a municipality? It's a higher density community of people that are sharing a smaller geographic area and a larger population. We would usually define it as a village or a town or a city, but it does not include a rural, sparsely populated area. And we have cities that are, given the tax tools that they have right now, unable to deal with, we have municipalities that are unable to deal with growth, and bottom line is everybody's yelling at them, and they're unable to provide the modern services that they want to. So if they want to try and be a greener municipality and provide public transit, for example, they're pressed for finding enough money to do that. Certainly the City of Edmonton was having to look at the last budget toward the government to get additional money to be able to fund the LRT, which is something that's very important to the citizens of Edmonton. So we actually have a situation now where municipalities are actually told how much debt they can run. Now, how indicative is that of a problem? That no one is told you can't run a deficit or a debt. In fact, what the province says is you can run a debt up to this amount. And I think that's a very bad sign for how municipalities are being funded. So, and I specifically am interested in redistributing this tax on a per capita basis, so that every area would have access to the tax money and not, as is currently happening, quite a small number of people. And when I look at history, and let's look at work and productivity. In 1920, the GDP from agriculture was 75%. And the province changed a lot. By 2010, the GDP from agriculture was 1.8. So we went from 75% to 1.8 of the province. The population, which is the other part of this equation here, in 1900 the population was 75% rural. That makes perfect sense. But in 2011, population was 83% urban. So, and just to note, Alberta is the third highest urban population province in Canada, behind Ontario and BC. So we have a lot of people that live in urban areas. So what we've had is the population migrating from rural to urban, and we've had the money earned, or the productivity, move from agriculture to, and in order, energy, finance and real estate, construction, business and commercial services, retail and wholesale, transportation and utilities, manufacturing, and so on down. And at this point, agriculture is the very last on the list. So this is not to say that agriculture and the production of agriculture is not valued. It is, and I want to be really clear about that. But what I'm talking about is a tax that is being collected based on a historic situation that no longer exists and happenstance. So the access to this property tax or linear tax or CLIA has decreased as the populations have increased. So in 1996, the urban areas accessed $97.7 million. In 2010, we actually accessed less of this money, $81.5 million. More people, less money. The rural areas in 1996 accessed $463.6 million. In 2010, that had gone up to $1,356 billion. It's a lot of money. And taxes are used by all by all levels of government to pay for the programs and services for their citizens. And the province and the feds have access to income tax, which the more people that are working or the better they're earning, the more money the province and the feds make without lifting a finger. But the municipalities, they have very limited tax tools, and their biggest one is property tax. And from that, property tax does not deal with growth. Now, I spoke earlier about Albertans' very strong ethic about fairness. And I would say, is it fair that villages, towns and cities get $28 per person of linear taxes collected in this province? But rural, sparsely populated areas get $1,930, almost $2,000 per person. No, it's not fair. It's not fair that the MD of Bonnyville in the county of St. Paul, which has inside of that area the towns of Bonnyville, St. Paul and Elk Point and summer villages of Glendon, Horseshoe Bay, Bonnyville Beach and Pelican Narrows, well, the MD in the county has 50% of the regional population, but it accesses 78% of the regional property tax. So I ask for your support in urging the government to redistribute this particular tax. Thank you.